Welcome back to Rebuilding Masculinity. This is your host, Saladin. Today we're going to be talking about failure, but before we start, I would like for you to take a moment and hit that subscribe button and also share the video so we get the word out there so that more men can get back into that rebuilding masculinity stage and the movement can grow. Also, too, if you like the video, please make sure you hit that like button and show that you like the video. I would really appreciate that. So today we're going to be talking about failure. So a lot of men, from what I see today, especially the younger men, they're afraid to fail. They're afraid of failure. Now we're going to talk about some general situations today. Now a lot of men today, they go through failure, and every man actually goes through failure at some point in time in his life. And actually failure can occur every day, can occur every other day, can occur once a week. Failure just happens all the time. It's actually a part of life. You might be on a mission to achieve a certain goal, and you might not be able to get that goal done at the time that you want, or you might not get it done at all. So you'll fail, and it's up to you from that point on to either press on or for you to just quit. And one thing I can tell a lot of you guys out there is that if you are aiming towards quitting whenever you have a failure, you are never going to be anywhere in life. You are never going to be anywhere in life. You're never going to get anywhere in life. You're going to basically stay stagnant. And one of the worst things as a man that you can do is quit and stay stagnant. Because see, whether men want to talk about it or not, we're in a competitive world. And I know a lot of men like to try to evade that thought of us being in a competitive world, because I've come across a lot of people in the Rebuilding Masculinity group on Facebook, which was inspired by Kevin Samuels, because when I first saw Kevin Samuels' videos, his older videos, he actually used to get on the men, and then a lot of men didn't really watch him, because one thing I noticed about his channel is that a lot of men actually liked it to see him talk about women. Now, pretty much he deemed his channel as it failed, he was lame and all of this other stuff. But actually, he was actually doing good. Now, to him, he might have been failure, but to others, he was actually creating some movement. The problem is that he actually found his niche. His channel grew. He happened to be doing a video with a lady. It went viral. I believe it was called Average at Best, and that's pretty much what blew him up to. What blew his channel up to where it was. So I use that as an example just to show you one example of failure. So he took that failure, which wasn't really failure. It might have not been failure to everybody, but it was failure to him. He took that failure, he re-strategized, and he actually came up with a better plan. He implemented the plan, and his channel grew to over 1 million subscribers. And I believe it's actually happening in, about a year and a half. So it doesn't take that long for things to elevate after that failure. But it is up to you as to how you're going to handle that failure. And a lot of men, especially men that was not raised by fathers, or let's just say competent fathers, or fathers that are really in their masculine. Because sometimes you can have a father in the house, or you can have a stepfather in the house, and they do not display masculinity. They might actually be a beta. They might actually show beta tendencies. Or they might actually show, and what I mean by that is they basically are walking around like they're not sure about things. They're not confident in their abilities. Their head is not up. Their shoulders are not high. They are not assertive. That's what I mean when I say that, because I know a lot of people kind of use alpha and beta as a trigger word. So I just wanted to make sure I explain that before the emotions come into play about me using using that exact word. So one of the important things is that how you want to treat failure is when you go through failure, you want to re-strategize. That's why I talk about strategy all the time. You want to re-strategize. You never want to get off your game. When things start shaking, you never want to get nervous. You never want to have something remove you off your platform. You want to stay solid. You want to stay sturdy. You want to re-strategize. You want to stay in your element, because a lot of guys, from what I see today, especially the ones that were raised by single mothers, is that they are more emotionally infused. So they will basically act off of emotion, and that emotion is typically freaking out, quitting, or basically not embracing failure. When you embrace failure, that's typically when you go to that next level. You don't really hear a lot of people talk about embracing failure, but I know one person that talked about failure, which was Robert Kiyosaki. He talked about a lot of his failure, but if you look at him today, he's basically living the lifestyle that most can only dream of. And there's many others out there. Grant Cardone. There's many other figures out there that is well known on YouTube that has failed and took their failure and became very successful. So it all depends on how you treat failure, how you embrace failure. And that's really what's important in life, is how you treat failure, how you bounce back from failure, how you grow from failure, and how you achieve your goals by using that failure as a driver. So that's what that's why I really wanted to talk about this, because it is a sticky subject. A lot of people were not taught that failure is okay, but failure is okay. Failure is okay. I'm telling you that. If somebody has not told you that in life, failure is okay. It's just about how are you going to treat your failure? Are you going to take that failure and utilize that as energy to go to the next level? Are you going to utilize that failure to go to the next level, or are you going to let it break you down? That is a question you have to ask yourself. That is a question that is something that you have to dig deep down into yourself and basically have that conversation with yourself and kind of do some reflecting and say, hey, am I going to use this failure and let it beat me down and make me quit, or am I going to use this failure and go to the next level where I know greatness is at? Because guess what? On the other side of failure, brothers, on the other side of failure, guess what's there? Guess what's there? Greatness. Greatness is on the other side of failure. So you got to be able to fail in order to get to the next level. Look, if you don't want to fail, that's okay. If you're afraid of failure, or you're just one of those people that, failure basically gets you out of your element, you quit easily. Hey, if you're one of those people, hey, this video might not be for you. But if you are one of those people that are strong-minded, you have a strong mental state, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. You're a producer. See, as a producer, you have to embrace failure. You can't produce if you are not embracing failure. Because typically what somebody does that does not embrace failure, typically what they do is they are usually non-producers, because every time they fail at something, they just quit. It's just like if you get a job and this job is paying you an above average salary, and it depends on where you are, because if you're in the South, maybe 70K or 80K is above average in the South, depending on which southern states those are. In the North, maybe like 120, 150 and up. And I know a lot of people like to say, oh, that's not a lot of money. Well, guess what? Less than 12% of the population makes that. That's including men and women. So cut that out, because a lot of you all has never even made six figures yet. Even though I know a lot of people like to say that that's not a lot of money, but they've never even made it. But in today's inflationary, which I'm not going to really get on this too much, but I'm just going to touch on a little bit. In today's high inflation, it's not a lot of money for those that have a lot of children. That's in a lot of consumer debt. That's living a above their means lifestyle. Yeah, it's not a lot of money for those type of people. You are absolutely right. But for a single person, if they know what to do with it, if you're making 80 to 100K, hey, you should be scaling pretty fast. And I'm probably going to talk about that in another video, but we're going to stick to the topic. So failure, embrace failure. Men, embrace it. Stop running from it. Embrace it. It's okay. You're going to fail. That's a part of life. See, that's what your father is supposed to teach you when you're growing up, is that it's a part of life. If you don't embrace failure, you're never going to see greatness. You're never going to taste it. You're never going to feel it. You're never going to smell it. You're never going to smell it. Embrace failure. Embrace failure in order to reach greatness. But I'll see you all in the next video. I really appreciate you all watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. Please share these videos to get the message out there. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel and help this channel grow, because we are rebuilding masculinity over here. We are helping men achieve their greatness over here. We are helping men get to the next level. I'll see you all in the next video.